Okay, good, nice modulation. What do you want your sound to be here? I think it's pretty good already, but is there anything that you can think of that would be better?
I think it could have more clarity and strength.
Okay, I agree with you because it's a different key than the opening, right? In fact, I don't think it comes this key ever again, before or later.
So,
It's always G minor.
yeah.
So I think that there has to be something more vivid about the color, and maybe more edgy. So what could you do to help that with your bow in particular? I'm thinking.
Um, Making sure my thumb is bent and I have the space here.
Okay, good. Anything about the wood to hair?
Um, Making sure that it's flat.
Yeah, yeah, I was going to suggest maybe try flatter hair and see if that doesn't do it. And do not come forward with your head, not even a little bit. Yeah. Well, that is certainly edgier, and I think it would project better in a space. So I think whenever you have that material, but especially that time, think about that bow because you were definitely letting the wood come over a little bit too much. Whenever I have a passage that's going to involve either a lot of running around on the fingerboard or complicated bowings, right? This is a little bit complicated for the bow. Before I start the passage, I write in a figure of a little man. Do you remember Little Man? So this is not trying to be sexist, but I'm thinking of the little hangman in that game that you play where you try to guess a word, and every time you miss, you get a body part drawn. And eventually, if you can't guess the word, you remember this, you get killed once your little man is complete. So in the way I use the little man, it's just a signal to myself that I need to ground and center. So what are some of the things you think about when you're trying to do this little man?
The energy going down the outsides of the
Of the
legs
legs?
into the feet
Okay.
and feeling multiple places in my feet that are contacting the floor,
Okay.
and having bent knees, not locked.
Good. And have we ever talked about also relaxing the lower back down? So you're almost sitting on a little invisible stool, right? So before I start the passage, I've put this little, drawing of my little man, and that tells me, okay, feet, sink, energy down into the ground. So I'm grounding myself. I'm also relaxing and releasing my lower back. And that's on top of everything that I might do with the hand, which I thought was working really, really well. There's a lot of places like this, right? This last movement kind of alternates between beautiful singing parts where you can feel that, and then these kind of driven parts where either you're chasing or you're being chased. I'm not quite sure what your fantasy is, but those are all little man places. So it's a great suggestion to your body, and it's a syndrome of things. It's not just one thing, it's several things, and you see that and you drop into position. And also very important in this is that I want my shoulders over my hips, over my knees, over my feet, so that my lower body is supporting my upper body, and then my hands can be free to move. But if I am in some kind of awkward position where this setup is not going on, then my muscles are working so hard to keep me from falling over. You want your spine to support you so that your arms can do stuff. And you and I both have to work on this head forward thing.